While a lot of people play gacha games for the story, they're not particularly known for having the best storytelling. And while that's true, a lot of the lore behind these games can actually be pretty interesting. And I think the perfect example of that is Tower Fantasy. Yes, even this game has some decent lore. And I think the storytelling in this game is holding a lot of people back from actually trying or sticking with the game. So I thought if I gave you guys like some interesting lore facts, you might actually feel more immersed in the game or actually want to play it or know what the hell is going on. That being said, I won't waste too much time. Here's 10 interesting lore facts about Tower Fantasy that I thought were pretty cool. So number 1, the planet is artificial. You know the starting area that everybody complains about, Ida? It's actually not a real planet, and by that I mean they created it. It's not like a natural thing. They terraformed it, and if you're like me, you didn't know what that word meant, so I googled it. Terraforming is basically, it's actually a completely made up verb, go figure, but basically terraforming is in fiction when a planet or a moon or an asteroid is re-engineered to be habitable, habitat, basically so humans can live on it. Basically, imagine the developers of No Man's Sky, but real life. Basically, the reason they did that is because the original Earth had been completely contaminated with this substance called omnium. It's a big problem in this universe, but we'll get to that. So omnium contamination destroyed the Earth, and they built Ida as a last chance for human survival. Because the planet's artificial, a lot of the terrain and the ruins might feel a bit unnatural and video gamey. That's because it literally is unnatural. Number 2, the Great Catalysm was actually humanity's fault. Go figures, who would have guessed that human greed led to the extinction of the planet? These developers must be some kind of fortune tellers, but jokes aside, it's a pretty standard post-apocalyptic backlore. Like, it kind of reminds me of Fallout or Nier Automata, your typical post-apocalyptic video game setting. Which I don't know why, but I've always been a huge fan of the post-apocalyptic aesthetic. I don't know, that's just me. Anyway, the omnium reactors overloaded. I don't know if they were farming omnium or what they were doing with those reactors, but there was human greed to create an infinite amount of energy, and that led to a meltdown, which led to extinction level destruction. And different regions of Tower Fantasy are still scarred by the meltdown. In case you're confused by the wording of this, like I was, how could Ida be affected by the scars of omnium if Earth was already destroyed by omnium? Well, it turns out the cataclysm happened twice. It destroyed Earth because of human greed. They moved to Ida, and then the same thing happened. They made the same mistake twice, and that's why Ida is post-apocalyptic, even though it was supposed to be a perfect world. Go figure, people repeating history. See how I find this lore kind of interesting? Maybe it's just me. Number 3, omnium is basically reality-bending voodoo magic. You've basically been wondering what omnium is after I mentioned it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's basically black hole goo. It mutates life, bends space-time, and creates anomalies. The monsters in this game, the teleporters, even the simulated characters you use as weapon, it's all run on omnium. It is honestly though like a pretty MacGuffin plot device. By that I mean like they use it in everything. It justifies new zones, monsters, mechanics, everything points to omnium. That's all you really need to know about it. Fact number 4, it's not actually clear who's the bad guys and who's the villains. The heirs of Ida, who are pretty much the opposite faction you're fighting, it's not really black and white who is right in the situation. The heirs of Ida genuinely believe Hycros, who you're working for, is brainwashing humanity, and they use your main character, the Wanderer, is basically the proof of that. Hycros lies to us all the time, especially about omnium. Basically, the best way to put it is we work for the government, and they are like freedom fighters fighting against the government. So, I mean, who's really right? Who's really wrong in the situation? I don't know. Number 5, the simulacra, aka like the weapons. Like if you look closely, the reason we can play both characters and switch weapons in this game is because the characters are the weapons. Like basically, have you ever seen the anime Soul Eater? It's kind of like how characters are weapons in that show, but to go even further, the characters we use aren't the actual characters in lore, like they're clones of the character, but they're digital clones. Basically, the weapons you use in this game are simulated recordings of a person's mind, memories, put into a weapon that you use. The real characters that these weapons are based off of are long dead. They're like historic figures, like Who's a famous warrior in history? Arthur the Great? I don't know, I'm African. Yasuke? It's like you're holding the simulated digital version of Yasuke turned into a weapon in your hand, if that makes sense. Fact number 6, Hycros is actually a techno religion. You know how in these gacha games there always has to be some over-encompassing divine rule? Like in Genshin you have Archons, in Wuthering Waves you have Sentinels. In this game, it's all about science. They basically worship science like a religion. There's shrines, rituals. The people you work for in this game honestly treat Omnium like it's the second coming of Christ. Honestly, the heirs of Ida is honestly looking more and more like a better faction. I feel like we should be able to join that side. Number 7, the Wanderer is actually immune to corruption of Omnium. It's one of the biggest mysteries in the game, aka the developers probably just needed to give you the main character treatment. You can basically sustain high levels of Omnium without mutating. Like we can see what happened to Shirley when she got exposed to it. Like that type of thing just won't happen to us. Even Hycro scientists can't explain this. For me, honestly, it's just plot armor. Let's just be real. It's probably plot armor, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless. So number 8, the Ida Guardians existed long before Hycros, which I don't know, by the sound of it, these Guardians are like the Breath of the Wild Sheikah technology in that game. And these things just predate modern towns, which points to the fact that humans might not have been the first civilization in Ida, which is kind of weird because the whole thing's artificial, which makes you wonder a lot of things. There's lots of unanswered questions there. That's why I thought it was just an interesting piece of lore. And number 9, the Cosmic Sea storyline confirms that there are multiverse elements in the story. There's different dimensions, altered timelines, and space anomalies that all exist, basically meaning Tower Fantasy can sell you unlimited versions of different characters and settings. It's basically a cheat system for writing a story. That's pretty much the only reason they introduced these multiverses, if you ask me. To retcon shit and to sell you different versions of different characters. Have you seen Ironheart Meryl? She's pretty fire, if you ask me. Number 10, that wonky time skip from chapters 1 to 2 is actually canon. So between chapters 1 and 2, a lot of environments shift, factions relocate, and characters disappear out of thin air. Threats appear out of thin air. This is realistically just to align with the global release of the game, but they actually wrote it into the canon as a world restructuring event, which I honestly thought was just kind of funny. But yeah, those are 10 interesting facts about Tower Fantasy. Hopefully that might get you more into the game, or at least help you pass the time. I don't really got much else to say. Any constructive criticism is welcome. Hopefully y'all enjoy the video. I don't know. That's it. Peace. Thanks for watching.